Well, let's talk a little music. Welcome to Artist Notes. I'm your host, Diego Rivera. My guest this week is clarinetist, saxophonist, and bandleader Anat Cohen. Born in Tel Aviv, Israel, Anat is one of today's leading clarinetists and equally brilliant in both Brazilian music and straight-ahead jazz. Anat is an incredible musician and absolutely one of my favorite people. I'm looking forward to another wonderful conversation with her on this week's episode of Artist Notes. Thank you so much for joining. This is wonderful. It's good to see you again.
It's good to see you. I know you as Prof.
Yeah.
That's how the students call you, Prof. I met you in a professional college, university professor.
Yeah, it was a wonderful experience, and I still keep in touch with those particular bands that you came and toured with us. That was the highlight of a lot of their college careers, was the time that they spent with you. They cherished that seriously.
Really? They were so great. I mean, you did such a great job working with them, and they were just all of the groups. They had such great spirit and so much will to make things work, which this day and age you see a lot of different people. Not everybody is in the team playing, and those your students were just all about making it work and doing the extra step to make it work. And I was like, I had a great time, and we traveled around and did a lot of things together.
Yeah, it was a blast. We got to do
And
it
you
again.
wrote some great arrangements.
Oh, thank you.
I love playing your arrangements.
Thank you.
You sounded so good.
Well, let's talk a little music. The concept of this record was to take music from other cultures and try to boil everything down to the basic indigenous elements, the indigenous musical elements of everything. And there were a couple of themes that I found when looking at all of this music, and I think that's why music pulls us together, because they have some of these very basic and core elements. So one of the tunes that I decided to perform was Shir La Shalom.
I would love to hear it, but I know that we played it when I came to Michigan.
Yeah.
And we played it. You made a beautiful arrangement of that song, and I know it's been inspiring you for a few years now. And the fact that first, before you see, you went to explore after you heard the song, there was something about the melody. So again, you are also a horn player, so you were attracted to the power of the melody. And then you said, wait a second, there's more layers, right?
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that you found that song, and I think it fits today's where we are in the world, and it fits 40 years ago, and it will unfortunately stay current.
Yeah, timeless.
Yeah.
And performing this song, I had become a little bit more familiar with Israeli culture, history, and a little politics in order to understand the song's message and the impact. Now, you have an incredibly amazing story. You're someone who came to the U.S., as it so happens, the same country as where this song came from, and you built an incredible career as an Israeli-born jazz musician here in the U.S. And then you also had a serious, in-depth study of the music of Brazil, which I think is totally inspiring, and I love all the work that you've done with your bands and those sort of stuff, and it's incredible. So my question is, how does a musician go about immersing themselves into a music from a culture that's not of their own?
Huh. Um, I think it's interesting because you talk about Shira Shalom, which means a song for peace, and but for us, I'm a horn player, and before I knew any lyric to any song, I hear melodies, and I think when I fell in love, there's rhythm, of course, and then there's melody. And some melodies are just eternal. Or some minor keys, maybe in my culture, in other cultures, some minor keys are eternal, and they just hit that one spot in your heart that you connect to. So I fell in love with the music of Brazil, but it's easy. Many people fall in love with the music of Brazil because, before I knew any word in Portuguese, now I actually speak Portuguese, but before I could say any, I connected to waves and they have like the heart, coração, or you hear like, and there's like a cashew juice, cashew. I don't know, some and so I fell in love with it felt there's something percussive about the language, something very lyrical, and so that was before I knew anything about the culture and the language and everything. And then you meet the people, and the people, they have certain warmth, the people of Brazil, and very similar to the people of Israel. I always felt very much at home with Brazilian people, same gestures, same expressions. We use the same expressions even, with literal translation, things that people do in the US. So it's really interesting. Like I could literally translate something to Portuguese people. They're like, yeah, we get it. This is exactly same gestures and stuff. And then you go to the place, and things, it makes sense. The music, it reflects in the nature, like in Janeiro. It's a city, so much nature in the city. Like there's the beach and all the buildings, but then there's like the forest, and there's the mountains, and the jungle and the monkeys, and it's like so. And you hear the wind blowing and moving in the leaves, and you're thinking of like, you look at the beach in Ipanema, and the music, it's part of that pace of nature and the sound that you hear. So there's a lot of level, and then there's beer, but that's a whole other thing. So anyway, I kind of went far from your question, but I don't know. This is like a little bit of how something like this happened, and I think the people first, it's connection with the people, and the rest comes naturally, if it comes naturally.
When I did the research, this song is definitely politically charged, and politics, I think at its worst, is really about control and kind of limits our scope of all the things that you're talking about. But music at its best is about tolerance, acceptance, freedom, and all of those great things. And so I don't know what kind of politician you are, but you're an excellent musician. So what has your study of music taught you about the concept of freedom or peace?
Music, especially jazz, has taught me about communication. And in order to achieve communication, to achieve peace, you need to find the common ground between you and other people. First of all, you need to want to make something happen. You can't just ignore what's happening without you. And I think the training of being a jazz musician, the whole concept of mastering your craft, which is your instrument, the technicality, and then the theoretical understanding, and then your hearing, and then your heart, and then how to combine everything, and then to in relation to time, and then in addition to all of that, in relation to what the other people are doing, and at the same time that you pay attention to all of your things, is you also have to pay attention to what's around you. Like, you're not going to walk into a party, a room full of people, and just be like, hey, so yesterday I was just you first, you have to assess what is happening, and how do you mingle, and how do you adapt, and how you become part, and how you make somebody else notice, oh, this person seems really shy, they're not saying anything, let me welcome them into the into the conversation, let me pay attention, let's be sensitive. And I think music and jazz, and also choro music that I love from Brazil, I mean, it's these are elements in the music that really, because it has a lot of improvisation and a lot of choices you need to make, it can really make someone else shine, or you can turn them off. So in order to do that in real life, to communicate, then it's nice to be able to learn another language. People say that music is an international language, and it is. If you are connected, and you speak from your heart to somebody else's heart, and without the words, it's even clearer, and words can get actually more confusing than the notes. But you need to really want to make this whole communication happening. So find, either learn another person's language, or care about what's their personality, and how to make something work. I don't know. That's what music teaches me. I that's what I preach for when I talk to other people, because I think not everybody can become professional musician, but the power that music has to make us be more sensitive to those elements, it's invaluable. Song Shir Shalom, a song that is so iconic in the simple meaning of aim for peace, not for war. And you said that that when you were able to communicate with other people, you found a peace. And I think, of course, not everybody is fortunate to have be in circumstances that, like, sometimes people want to communicate, but the surrounding shuts them down.
Right.
Don't let them be at their best, and then anger comes into the equation, and unfortunately it messes the balance. So it's very hard to feel this peaceful, the inner peace and the outer peace. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that the a song that is iconic with peace, and it's not about who is right, and it's not about uh, win a war, is about achieving peace, and through real compassion and communication. And this is it's valid for any situation. It can be in between band members, or it can be in between left and right in politics. It can be in between different countries, and when you have a flag and you want to fight about your borders. I mean, it all depends how angry, I think, the surrounding has made you. Maybe I might be, just, too privileged to be to I don't want to aim through fight. I don't want to fight. I want to find a way to solve a situation, not to create more tension. And when people do that, I always say, but don't you want to use this energy for something more helpful? It's not helpful to create more anger.
Well, thanks, Anat. This was wonderful.
Thank you, but thanks for letting me into your world a little bit and invite
Oh,
me
of course.
to hang out with you,
Yeah,
do your music, and chit chat a little bit about
definitely.
whatever.
Right. Um, well, hopefully we can do this again sometime in the future, and then let's definitely do this again in person when all this madness, one of the very many maddening things is in the past. Is behind us.
Stay safe,
Stay safe, definitely.
and we need to stay strong for the student, and to give them hope. So hope for peace, and for peaceful, and for future. So let's stay hopeful.
Definitely. All right, Anat. Thank you.
All right, Prof. Good to see you.
You too. Take care.
Bye. You too.